tragic accident changed the course of his life forever. For most, it would have begun a life of discontent and wallowing around in self-misery. For Jonathan Nadeau, it kickstarted a new chapter of inspiration and appreciation. Even though he lost his sight permanently, he gained a passion to put creativity first in all areas of his life. And now, he wants to encourage you to do the same. There are times when you'll be faced with a choice. Be crushed by the weight of the situation, or use the fresh start to rebound bigger, better, and more inspired than ever before. This is Tornado, stories of those who refuse to choose defeat and instead chose to embrace the storm. Here's your host, Jonathan Nadeau.
Hello, thank you for joining us. Greetings, welcome. This is Embrace Your Storm, and we've got an awesome episode for you as always. My name is Jonathan Nadeau. Today we have on two guests. We have a film coming to us from Israel. They submitted to the Tornado Film Festival, and it's called Let's Talk. So we have on today Avner, who is the main actor in this movie, and then we also have Alad, who is the producer and director. So guys, thanks for coming on today.
Thank you.
Alad, thank you.
My pleasure. So, Alad, I don't know if you want to take this question first, but what is the film Let's Talk all about? What are you trying to do with this film?
אלעד הוא שואל על מה הסרט הזה ומה ניסית לעשות איתו.
הסרט הזה מספר על מערכת יחסים סוערת בין אחים בגלל רקע משפחתי מסובך ומתחים סביב הדת. זה משפט.
Anyway, he says this movie talks about is all about the obstacles of harsh relationship between two brothers with the conflict of problems in the family and religion.
Okay.
ומה שאני ניסיתי להעביר פה זה בעצם את ההתבוננות על כמה משמעות יש לסודות בחיים שלנו, ולזה שאם לא מדברים, בסוף יש פיצוץ. אז בכל מקרה מדברים, אז עדיף כבר לדבר לפני. אתה יכול לשנות טיפה אם יותר קל לך במילים אחרות, אבנר.
Okay, so what he tried to do with this movie is to show we all have secrets and conflicts in our own lives and with other people. And it's gonna blow anyway, and we should just talk before it blows, before it gets us first.
Okay, that's cool. So did you take or use the topic of religion just because that can be an explosive topic, or is that something you've gone through in your own life?
כן, אני דתי, כן, אמרתי, אני יהודי דתי, ואני מגיע ממשפחה דתייה. לא חוויתי מתח סביב השמירת שבת כמו שהוא מופיע בסרט, כשאחד רוצה להמשיך לנסוע בשבת ואחד לא, למרות שעכשיו זה קורה לי עם הסרט, כשרוצים להקרין אותו בפסטיבלים בשבת, וזה דיון, אבל זה כן מערכת יחסים שאני מכיר אותה בקשר שלי עם אחי, ובקשר מול העולם הדתי לגווניו, בתוכו גם כן יש אינסוף רמות.
He says he's a religious Jew himself, and he never really met the conflict of keeping the Shabbat, other than now when the movie is played in festivals which do screening on Shabbat. So he didn't really met that conflict before the movie. Now he meets it because of the movie. But he did had some conflict with his younger brother, and in certain level of how much religious and stuff like this.
Okay. So Avner, I guess a question for you, was there something about the script that made you, want to be in this movie or be the main actor in it? Like, what was it about this that caught your eye?
Yeah, the first thing that caught my eye was the scene we got for the audition it was a scene in which I think, I'm right, Alad? אז זה שאנחנו מגלים על הציצית, נכון?
כן. כן, כן.
It was the scene where I found out my brother just became religion, and what I liked so much about it was how vulnerable Ori was in that moment. I could see he's fighting him, but also I could see his pain and his how scared he is from the change that will happen to his brother and what would be with his family. And I could see that, and I could see it also in my big brother that always, tried to protect me and stuff like this. And I could really see his fears, and I could understand it. So that's what caught me mostly.
Now, when you say that, like in this script, that his brother found religion, was his brother going from Judaism to like Christianity? Is that what you mean? Like he was going to convert over?
No, in Israel we have like religious Jews live very different lives from unreligious. So he is like became a Baal Tshuva. What's
I
Baal
see.
Tshuva?
I see. Okay.
And that's like that. And also the father is in the movie. The father went religious a few years back, and it separated their family. So the conflict is really about their past and his fears from this thing happening again, and it's Ori scared that this conflict will break the remaining of his family, the last remaining of his family.
Okay, so when
והמתח הזה בין דתיים לחילונים זה משהו שהיום בישראל הוא נמצא בשיא, והקריאה לבוא ולדבר היא משהו שמאוד נוכח היום גם בשיח בין הקבוצות השונות.
Yeah, he says the conflict between religious Jews and unreligious Jews now in Israel is a huge thing. The politics and everything just kind of turned everyone against each other.
Wow.
And now it's way more big of a topic to talk between ourselves as as citizens and as brothers of the same nation. Like when we filmed it wasn't so important and so live and exploding in the Israel society, but now it's really a big thing. There's like huge drama around all this exact stuff.
Could you give like one example maybe of like what an extreme would be from like a religious Jew to a non-religious Jew? Like what's kind of a topic that they would disagree about or fight about?
הרפורמה המשפטית, שיש כאלה שרואים בה את סוף הדמוקרטיה ויש כאלה שרואים בה את תחילת הדמוקרטיה, כשהיא עסוקה בעצם בדיון הזה כמה המדינה היא דמוקרטית, כמה היא יהודית, וכל אחד רואה את זה בצד שלו.
So now it's what you said is now it's about we have like a justice system reform that the government trying to pull through, which would make Israel way more religious. So for unreligious Jews, it's like they think it's the end of democracy, and for religious Jew, it's like the beginning of democracy.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, and but I think you also meant like in the day-to-day life, right?
Yeah, kind of. Like, yeah, maybe like what's kind of a topic where a religious Jew and a non-religious Jew would kind of argue about, like not in the street yelling at each other, but what's kind of a topic where they're just at opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, so I think the movie really shows it very well that there is really nothing to fight about or to have any problem with, because we do live in the same world and we do talk the same language. It's just about the misunderstanding we have between each other because of the separation. We've been educated in and fears and emotional how do you say like bags, like bags of emotion that we carry with ourselves throughout our lives.
Yeah.
So it's mostly like that, but basically, and that's what the movie is really about. It's basically just the we don't really communicate here. We have like three levels of society and we don't talk.
Well, hence why the movie is called Let's Talk. Let's have this
exactly.
Let's have this conversation instead of, fighting and being against one another.
Yeah, exactly.
כשאם נחזור לסרט עצמו, אז הסיפור אומנם ספציפי פה, אבל בעצם הוא אוניברסלי, ולכן גם הוא חורש פסטיבלים ומקומות בעולם, כי בסוף, הרבה פעמים אנחנו לא מדברים, רוב הסרט הוא בשתיקות ובמעט דיבור.
כן, זה מה שאמרתי.
אמרת לי גם, סבבה? והדבר השני, אוקיי, תגיד.
So what you said now is that it's like in the movie it stands, with a big brother and younger brother and the flat tire and everything, but it's just for Alad it's like how do you say, a metaphor for just what we talked about before, like, and he thinks that's the reason why this movie is going so well and to so many festivals around the world, because the universal truth it has within it, it's about more than just the 20 minutes we're going through with this story and what the characters are going through. 18 minutes, I'm sorry.
אבל ועוד דבר אחד זה שמה שהיה יפה בעיניי ושעדיין יפה זה שהסרט קרה בהפקה עצמה, בקשרים בינינו, בין דתיים ללא דתיים, על הסט וכל מיני מערכות יחסים שנולדו.
Yeah, and he says the beauty of the production was the connection that been made between unreligious and religious Jew, because for example, I'm not religion, and the conversation that came out of those situations, we really found ourselves talking about, like, what does it mean to be religious really, and what's the difference between us, and how would it bother me in any way,
no,
truly.
כי בסוף העניין זה לא דווקא שנסכים, אבל שלא נראה בשני דמון, שנראה בן אדם.
Because in the end, the point is not that we will agree or live the same way, but the point is to see the other person and to be able to communicate and find a way to live together.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I love the premise behind this film. Like one question I kind of skipped because I was interested into getting into the topic of the film, but Avner, maybe I'll start with you. Like, what made you want to get into film in general as kind of like your outlet for creativity? Like, what brought you down the road that you're on now in acting and stuff like that? How did you get started?
I really don't. I don't think. I think my answer changes all along the way. I had many answers in my life, but now my point of view is just it's. It happens to me when my father died. Before that, I was actually an athlete, and for some reason it stopped when my father died. And after that, I just found my way in a very I didn't tend to become an actor. It wasn't what I wanted. I just went for a couple of lessons, and then I found out that basically for me acting is the language of life. It's the way people operate, and its point of view is exactly the same point of view I always had on the world, which is people are motivated by many stuff. And most of the time, they're not even in control of what motivates them. And that just gave me. I kind of fell in love with this perspective of life and with the idea of being able to reflect human nature and being able to find my truth in every living person I'll get to meet from now on. And it kind of sent me on this journey of search. In humans, in people, to find their true self, the things that motivates them, why they operate the way they operate, why they talk the way they talk. And for me, it's basically my connection to this planet, to humanity, because I never really felt like I'm a part of this in many ways. But acting for me is like
Wow.
is like the language, we can all talk, we can all see each other through acting, through do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
It's a
no,
reflection.
absolutely. Yeah, and absolutely. Have you
And
done
and
any?
and and and, and Avner is very good in his actor.
See, Alad had to throw in some English for that, Avner. He had to make sure he got into the compliments.
Very nice. Thank you very much.
So now, before I jump over to Alad, Avner, have you done any like? Do you strictly do acting? Have you done any kind of writing or producing or anything like that, or do
Yeah,
you?
I'm writing now a movie. I'm in the process of writing a very big movie, which I can produce for at least the next 2 years, I guess.
Oh
It
wow,
would need much more than what I can get now. But I am writing and I'm painting, and
oh, that's
I
cool.
play music and I write poetry also. And I just try to, again, for me, that's like the language I can use, because otherwise I don't really know how to express to
I
other people, how to make them understand the way I experience life and the way I experience them. No.
I hear you. I mean, creativity is very powerful, and that's kind of what this podcast is about. Where I've explained to people that creativity is great for those times where people say, "Oh, I'm so angry, I don't even know what to say," or "I'm so upset, I can't even explain to you how upset I am." And that's where
Yeah.
creativity comes in, because you pour yourself into that creative outlet and you extend yourself into that, and you no longer need words. You can, like
Yeah.
you're painting or whatever, like that's the expression of how you feel, and so you can communicate through your creativity that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And acting, what I like so much about acting, the reason why actor is what I want to become and not a director or anything else, because as an actor, I can't judge anything. I must
Mm,
accept the way that human operates. I must forgive for all of his sins and accept it as if it was mine. And through that, I
wow.
see myself,
Yeah.
I see other people for who they truly are, because I can't judge any character I want to play. I can feel sorry for her, or sad or happy. You know,
Yeah.
I
No,
need to understand
absolutely.
like this human does exist, which is also like the meaning of this movie. You know, those people just exist, in their own world.
Mm,
We all exist in our own world, and art is a language that makes us get out of our own world and meet, in the middle, and
exactly.
then we'll have a dialogue, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
So,
that's
Alad, how did you get started in all this? What made you want to start in the kind of the film industry, or creating through film itself?
מה גרם לי להתחיל להתעסק בקולנוע?
כן.
קודם כל מגיל 10 אני עם מצלמה ביד עם קלטות כשאבא שלי הביא אותה הביתה, ומהגן אני מביים ילדים לעשות איתם מצגות. אז לא יודע, כאילו זה אני, זה הדבר ראשון.
So I'll translate that first. He says he's been filming many things since he was 10, when his father brought home a camera, and he even remembers in kindergarten he used to direct and
Oh
tell,
wow.
to direct other kids and tell them how to operate and stuff. And so he says he
זה
doesn't know
אמיתי, יש לי
really how to
תמונות.
say. He says it's true. He even has photos, and he said so it's hard for him to explain why he started, because for him it's who he is.
Yeah, it sounds like it was always in him.
זה דבר ראשון. אני כן יכול להגיד שככל שגדלתי, אז כן חוויתי באמת, מה שדיברתם עליו גם קודם, את הפערים בשפה, אפילו פה, בין אנשים. אחרי הגירוש מגוש קטיף גם, שכאילו, תרגיש שאתה חי בעולם מקביל, ואנשים לא, אתה לא באותו, אין לך דרך לבטא את עצמך, והקולנוע הוא דרך נורא חזקה, לשתף מחשבות ורגשות, והרבה יותר חזק ממילים זה התמונות, הוויזואליה, שזה הדבר שהכי נהניתי פה בסרט הזה, שגם אנשים שאפילו בפסטיבל באיטליה, אז היו שם אנשים שהם לא הבינו כל כך אנגלית גם, והכתוביות היו באנגלית, היו שם אנשים מ-100 מדינות מהעולם, והם הבינו את הסרט, כי הם הבינו כי הוא מדבר פעולות, הוא מדבר ויזואליה, ואז כמה מילים שהיו פה ושם, הם קלטו גם.
So again, he goes into this topic of he did what pushed him towards this direction more is the fact that he felt the same about language and the difference we have between each other. He speaks about a certain time in Israel which a few settlements were evacuated because of political and how do you say like them anyway it was just politics and stuff that made and also Israel doesn't really know if the land is theirs. It's like a problem in Israel, and they evacuated a few settlements, and he was really connected to these people, and he felt like he couldn't even express himself to explain the pain or the suffering people are going through because of that, and because there's like no language to connect and to contribute to our society and to unite us. So that's what pushed him towards, I guess, filming and directing and this idea specifically.
Yeah, I mean, it ties.
Oh yeah, and he says like even what he likes about this movie is the fact that it has many. How do you say like when you don't really have much text, but you do have like movement and how do you call it?
There's not much dialogue, but there's a lot of like action is the wrong word, but I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
So he says in Italy many people didn't even knew English, so they didn't understand the text, but they did get the idea through the movie itself, through the
absolutely
everything else. And so for him it's like the representation of what he tried to do,
Exactly.
Because language was not even important anymore. People just get connected to it.
Yeah. No, that's great. Like I said, it's a wonderful film, and I thank you guys so much for submitting it. Is there any kind of like final words you want to give to the audience? Like Avner, do you have any kind of advice maybe for young aspiring actors or people wanting to get into film? Like, do you have any suggestions or things they should do to get involved?
I don't really consider myself as one to give too much advices. What I can say is I believe in being who I am, and I believe in truth. And all advice that I can give to anybody is just search for the answer inside yourself. You would find, who you are better than everybody else. And also, I think that also this movie represented in some ways is that you don't need to search for answers in other people.
That's
people
true
think
too.
that they know stuff and they have opinions about stuff, but most of the people feel just like everyone else, like they don't really know anything, and most people feel uncomfortable and stuff. So what I believe is if you search inside yourself and if you listen good to what's going on around you, you'll find the answers you need and the right way to operate or move on in life, and as an actor and everything, just to be good at being and to be listening all the time.
Absolutely. You know what, Avner, you put that really well. That was well said. Alad, how about yourself? Like, do you have any advice for people that want to get involved or get into producing and directing?
אני חושב שהדבר שהכי עזר לי עד היום, ואני מקווה להמשיך להיעזר בו עכשיו, גם אבנר יודע, אנחנו בקשר על פרויקטים נוספים שאני בשלבים של כתיבה שלהם, זה לעבוד עם מה שיש. תמיד יש, לא יודע, אני מתרגש פתאום, תמיד יש ביקורת, ותמיד יש חסמים ואתגרים ובעיות בלהפיק ולכתוב ולעשות, ואני לא יודע, ואני לא טוב, ולהגיד, אוקיי, רגע, בואו נראה מה כן יש לי ביד, איך אני יכול מפה להתקדם הלאה. הסרט הזה לא קיבל תמיכה מקרנות קולנוע שהגשתי אליו, שיתקצבו אותו, אבל הוא כן חורך לבבות של אנשים, ואנשים באים בדמעות אחרי הקרנה, ובאים ומספרים, אומרים, זה הסיפור שלי הסרט הזה, מתחילים לספר את הסיפור חיים שלהם, וחורך פסטיבלים בעולם, ועכשיו התקבלנו לשתי פסטיבלי A. אז בעיקר, כאילו אם יש לי עצה לאנשים ולעצמי, זה לעבוד עם מה שיש, לראות מה יש, מה קיים, ועם זה לעשות הצעד, עוד צעד אחד קטן קדימה.
So what he said basically was work with what you have. He says there's many obstacles in the way and a lot of criticism and criticism about ourselves. And he speaks about this movie we didn't have any kind of foundation or no support, and yet this movie goes around the world and gets prizes, and people see this movie and comes with tears to Alad and tells him like that's our story, we felt the same, and find their own connection. So
wow.
Even though there's obstacles and criticism and all the things you think you can't do, just look at what you have and try to work with that.
Yeah.
So because that's what you can basically.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, what?
No, I was gonna say it really kind of lines up with what you were saying, where you said, you can find the answer within yourself. And Alad is saying, you know what, if outside people are saying, oh, don't do this, or whatever, you still need to look within and do what you think is the truth. And
he said it has goosebumps. He likes the situation. Yeah, and more than Alad says more than that. Alad is saying even if you think you don't really have anything, you do have some, and just use that and try to. The truth does come through this movie, and we filmed it in 2 days.
Wow,
it was less than 24 hours. We filmed the entire movie, and it was all under pressure of time and light and wind and everything, and yet it came that way out. So what he's saying is just do, if you have an idea which is important to share and to produce, just do it.
Absolutely.
What you can.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for this wonderful film and your work on it.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Yeah, it was Jonathan. Yeah, no, it was my pleasure to have you guys on. And anytime you guys come up with something else, definitely let me know. I'd love to have you back on again. But it's a wonderful film. It's going to be at the Tornado Film Festival. And guys, thank you so much for your time. And any last words for the audience?
Talk.
Actually, you know what? That's the best way to put it, Avner, right there. Let's talk. Absolutely.
Yeah, communicate. Yeah,
absolutely. And Alad, again, thank you so much, my friend, for all of your work on this and your vision on this. Thank you.
Thank you. אבנר, תגיד לו שזה חוכמה לבחור שם של סרט שהוא גם סלנג. Let's talk. זה היה חלק מה...
It says it's I don't know exactly how to say חוכמה. Maybe like it's not. It says it's like a wisdom, but it's a different meaning. It's a wisdom to find a movie name which is also a slang that you can do.
Absolutely. Totally.
So let's talk.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading. We'll see you next episode.
Tornado with Jonathan Nadeau. If you haven't yet, please subscribe now so you're first to hear new episodes with more stories of inspiration about the highs and lows of life and how embracing the storm is so much more fulfilling of a life than being crushed by the weight of the world. And until then, we hope you're inspired to do something, whether it's creating, participating, or learning, whatever leads you to your personal passion.